Our next speaker is Desai, but I think he is not there. So we'll skip it to the third presentation, experimental application of centrifugal separation technique on reclaiming product wastewater from oil refinery, Khartoum State, by SARRA SAAD.
Assalamu alaikum. First I want to thank host Alam for giving me this chance, and his team, and also Ahlia University staff. My presentation is about the use of water. Also, I will mention, Dr. Amir had just mentioned, the problem of food security and water as a resource. Now in Sudan, in my country, and other Arab countries, we are facing the problem of water scarcity. I think the next future will be the challenge on securing water for the more than 32 million people in Sudan. After separation of the southern part of the country, we have left only with the northern part, which is dry, arid, and semi-arid, classified soil classification. In order to invest this land, we need huge amount of water. This is sometimes we have water, that's the Nile, that extends from far south to the north, and we still have scarcity in food in Sudan. And also thank Dr. Amir, he mentioned some in his map that Sudan is suffering from food insecurity. The problem is that we should shift our thinking to recycle the wastewater in order to be used for irrigation or suitable for irrigation quality. Sudan invested in oil for more than 30 years now, and without any management or proper practices for recycling of the liquid waste. Our paper research concentrated upon recycling the liquid waste produced from oil industry to suit the irrigation quality criteria. For example, this is two photos from the refinery in Khartoum, oil refinery, and they have huge amount of produced water. They practice their only facultative or microbial or natural treatment of this water. It contains high amount of oil. This is some of the quality of treated wastewater. It contains high percentage of oil, sulfides, ammonia, and phenols. These chemicals are classified as toxic and should not be applied to soils or used for agricultural purposes. So what they have done, they just put water in open ponds in order to degrade the oil by using bacteria, and they recommended that this water is good for quality and can be used for irrigation. What happened is that all the trees and crops planted and irrigated with this water completely deteriorated, and soil polluted with oil, sulfides, and phenols. And the habitat or the balance of chemicals and microbes are completely changed. So we developed to think of another way to separate, firstly, the oil from this water. We used the separation technique. This is a filter already developed in UK, by Cameron UK, and used for saline water to remove salts from water in seas and oceans. We tested for oil, and our treatment was just to separate or to pass this water in the filters. It's used by centrifugation technique, and the results were really very encouraging. We cared about the total petroleum hydrocarbon, the most serious toxic pollutant in the soil, organic pollutant. And after we treat wastewater with this technique, oil were completely separated up to 70%, as you've seen here, in the samples in different months. Up to more than 50% of oil was completely separated. Also turbidity, the water is all high turbidity, and also the technique helps in reducing turbidity of this water. So we recommend from this study that centrifugation separation technique It's expensive, it's not cheap. Should be sponsored by government or private sectors. Also, we need very big filters to be used because we have thousands of water, tons of cubic water per daily, and can be implemented in treating wastewater. And also, further research work is needed to test other quality criteria for removing other sulfides, phenols, and other pollutants from this water. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. SARRA, just in time. Okay. So, time for question now.
Thank you, Dr. SARRA. I will ask a question on behalf of my colleagues in the Gulf region, actually, and probably in the other parts of the world. How come Sudan is regarded as one of the countries which might suffer, actually, or currently suffer from scarcity in food and water? Of course, both of us are from Sudan, and we know our country very well. We know that we have two Niles, river Niles, and one big Nile flowing to Egypt. And we have very fertile land, actually, land that has never been touched by agriculture at all. And the spaces are huge, actually. So how come, if all these factors are true and are genuine, Sudan is still suffering from lack of food and water? Thank you.
Yes, a very good question. The last data from Sudan, yes, we have fertile soils, we have water across the country from far south to the far north. But we have is because in Sudan, if anybody come from Sudan, I think in Muiz, in the UK, currently we import vegetables from Arab countries. Anybody from Saudi, I don't know. We import juice melon, okra, and tomato from Saudi Arabia. We import garlic from China. If anybody comes to Sudan, come and visit the public markets, the vegetable markets. We import everything. And why? This is a good question. Sudan government changed the policy to industry, oil industry. For the last 20 years, they just concentrated on oil industry and neglected agricultural practices. And now, we have left only with the northern part. Soil is arid and semi-arid. It's not fertile. No, it's not fertile. After separation of southern part of the country. This land needs to be invested. It needs huge amount of water. Now, other private companies from different Arab countries and Western countries, they invest in agriculture in northern part. They dig water from groundwater, and it's not sustainable. That's why we think that they can use the recycled water for irrigation. So as to reserve the water, as I mentioned by Dr. Abdelgadir, we need legislation for water use. That's what I meant. And for the food insecurity, yes, Sudan is classified as insecurity now currently. We have more than 48% of population are classified from FAO data last year as totally food insecure. They're suffering food insecurity, yes.
Thank you, Dr. SARRA. Tafadhal.
Thank you. My question is...
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yaqub Ali from Ahmed bin Mohammed Military College, Qatar. My comment actually on the food insecurity in Sudan is actually a problem of accessibility rather than a problem of availability. So food may be there, but the people, they don't have the accessibility to food. They don't have income. They don't have sufficient income to buy food. That's one thing. My question is to you, your paper. Have you done any cost-benefit analysis for the processing or transferring the water to be used for agriculture? In terms of cost-benefit analysis, is it feasible, economically feasible? It might cost more than the cost of this processing might be more than the benefit. So have you thought of this, or do you have any things to add on this? Thanks.
Yes, I've mentioned that separation technique is expensive. It's not cheap, it's expensive. That's why I said it should be only supported by governmental authorities. It cannot be done by private. Yeah, it's expensive. But comparing to the availability of water you will have from recycling, I think it's worth to do it.
Okay, thank you, Dr. SARRA.
And now I would like to call Professor Abdullah Al-Hawaj, Professor Mansour Al-Ali, and Professor Allam to present a token of appreciation for our keynote speaker, Dr. SARRA SAAD.